In this video, we're going to take a look at descending triangles and a couple of tricks you can use within something like Metastock just to play a trick with your mind so you can see the ascending and descending triangles better. In this case, we want to look at the descending triangles and try and flip it so we can get a bit of a visual as to how we would trade it long. You see, one of the challenges with short selling and obviously trying to find opportunities for short selling is our minds are very tuned over all of our trading career to trade long. So especially if you come from stocks and you've always invested and you've always bought stocks and held them long and so on, it can be a little bit tricky to swap your mind to be thinking in terms of short selling as opposed to trading long. So there's a few tricks that we can employ here. In this particular case, we've got AMP shares up, and AMP has been in a pretty significant downtrend for some time. As you can see, since $5.50 down to $3.12, it's really fallen out of favor with the investors. What we're looking at here is a descending triangle, and just so you know, a descending triangle is where we have a common support line and the highs are getting lower, as you can see through those two examples there. So we have a common resistance point or support line in this case where it's not breaking through, but the highs continue to get lower. And depending on where you want to draw your highs from, it can be a little bit subjective. So do keep in mind, along with the ascending triangle video that we also created, please keep in mind that this is a discretionary method, and the method that you use to do your support and resistance and trend lines can be slightly different to the next person, which brings in the subjectivity and makes it not a clear-cut mechanical trading methodology. Now, I'm sure there are some methods where you can code them in, and I do have ascending and descending triangle codes, explorations that you can run in Metastock. As to their accuracy, I personally don't use them. I just like to shortlist them all so I can visually find my own ascending and descending triangles. So in this case, we have a common resistance support line, and the highs are getting lower, and then we have a nice breakdown there. So that was 3 or 4 days of excellent drops. Now, one thing you will notice with a lot of pullbacks on short selling opportunities is the markets do tend to recover very, very quickly. You have to be very swift with your exits if you're to lock in some of this, which means some of them can drop significantly lower and you miss out on that opportunity. However, more often than not, they do bounce back quite rapidly. As you can see through here as well, the market fell significantly and then bounced back pretty strongly there. Another one just through here, common support line, and then the highs are getting lower. One of the tricks you can do is you can invert the chart, which helps trick the mind to think that this is a long trade. So what we do is we can go to Y-axis properties within Metastock and then just invert the scale. And see how now, if you're familiar with trading long and trading ascending triangle breakouts, this is a great way to make the transition to descending triangles and short selling breakouts using this particular strategy, just by inverting the scale there. So now let me close that. So now this becomes an ascending triangle and you would trade it as per normal long. Okay, so let me just invert it back. And that gets back to the descending triangles. Now, let's have a look at a couple of other examples here. So that was AMP. Let's have a look at ECX. Now, this particular stock has been in a downtrend for some time. This is going back to February, March, and as you can see, common support line through there. The highs are getting lower, and then it breaks down lower through there. Now, as I might have mentioned, this does not include any of your exit methods that you might use to get out and lock in the profits on this particular trade, except to say that markets do tend to bounce back pretty sharply. As you can see, as it dropped off down to that low there, it then pulled back very swiftly, only to fall again. So volatility increased considerably through there on Eclipse Group. Let's have a look at G8 Education, another one through here, and if I were to invert the scale once again, you can see in this case, now that it's inverted, it's a resistance point and the lows are getting higher. Obviously it's the reverse of that, but that breakout happened and then it snapped back pretty quickly, fell again, and then snapped back. So let me just invert that so we've got it back. So yeah, this market did take off to the downside, snapped back pretty fast, fell again, and so on. Now you will find, if we extend this right, a lot of the time, like ascending triangles, they actually come back and they test the previous resistance on descending triangles, and in ascending triangles, they test it back as support. So often that subsequent retest and coinciding with an overbought oversold indicator can be a pretty good signal to get back into that trade in the same direction. And let's have a look at one more. Syro Resources through here, and this is a current right to the current edge of the chart. So this one is building up. So as it starts to break down at this level here, that could be the potential for an excellent short selling opportunity. Once again, if we were to invert this scale through here, you see that it now looks like an ascending triangle. If you're used to trading long, that would be quite helpful for those visually. Lows are getting higher, common resistance point before it breaks out. And if I just reverse all that terminology again, the highs are getting lower, common support line is about to be broken potentially, so we'll be looking out for that with a short sharp move down with a potential snapback going pretty quickly through there. So hopefully that's a good idea on how you can potentially add descending triangles to your trading strategy, how you can use them to maybe add some new signals and hopefully build a positive expectancy trading system out of it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks and enjoy your trading.